you guys, part of the reason for why we're recording this as well, so we want the recording to be able to pick it up, so thank you so much. And we're honored to have a news crew here. Caleb, thanks for coming, Caleb. You're free to video anything you want about our presentation here. So, as I said, my name is Greg Swan. We're Angel Army. We're a bunch of bereaved parents. We all lost our kids, and Peyton lost her brother. So it affects the entire family. And I tell you, when you lose a member of your family, you might think your parents sometimes you wonder if they really love you. Believe me, they're holding back. When you lose a kid, it's really all over for you. Normally we would actually take a fentanyl survey, but you don't need to do that because I guess you can't have your phones here today. But we're honored to be here with local Tonya, and Tonya runs Project Trey in honor of her son Trey, who she lost. We're Angel Army, we kind of combine, and I co-founded a group called Fentanyl Fathers to train about fentanyl. We normally would want to test your fentanyl IQ. Does anybody have any idea how many kids are dying every day from fentanyl in this country? Anybody? No idea? Anybody want to take a guess? All right, so, by the way, we're here because of Corporal David. He can't be here today. There's an event that included him from being here, unfortunately. Here's the number. Yeah, we encourage kids, don't try to diagnose. If you get addicted to this stuff, I remember my son, who I lost, he called me and said, I got some bad news for you. I said, what? He goes, they're telling me I have a 2% chance of recovery from this. That's how hard it is to get off opioids. So we're Fentanyl Fathers, we're just a nonprofit. We work with a group called Victoria's Voice. It allows us to go nationally and go into schools. Tonya is the director for the state of Louisiana. Our mission is to establish a world where this doesn't happen. We're just done. We're over with these deaths. Kids die a lot of different ways. I tell them, hey, if you want to live dangerously, take your precious body and hurl it off the side of the mountain. It's called base jumping. You'll only die 1 in 5,000 times. If you do this, you'll die 1 in 2 times. That's why we're doing it ultimately to save lives. I'm going to show you a movie right now, Dead on Arrival, and we'll come back and tell you our own personal stories.
My name is Dominic Tierney. Since I graduated high school in 2014, I've had the great honor of directing a number of documentary films about drugs and drug addiction. Our mission is to revolutionize drug education by telling real-life stories that motivate young people to make one of the most important decisions of their life, and that's the decision to not use drugs. 2020 was the worst year for drug overdose deaths that we have ever seen. In the beginning of summer in 2020, I came across this article. A 14-year-old kid from a town I grew up in had died from what appeared to be a drug overdose. He's a smart, funny guy who, like many kids, was struggling with some anxiety issues and decided that he would turn to drugs to see if he could help himself with that. What happened was he went and bought this pill, this Oxycontin pill, from a guy he had known because he thought that pill might ease the pain of what he was going through mentally. Well, he didn't know it, but that Oxycontin pill wasn't a real Oxycontin pill. It was a fake pill. It looked just like the pill that he wanted to try, but instead of Oxycontin, it was made with fentanyl, a synthetic opioid known to be 50 to 100 times the strength of morphine. That one pill he took that night killed him almost instantly. Before I can even finish that article, I'm scrolling through and I see another linked article. Not far away, around the same time, another 14-year-old dead from fentanyl. So then I go back to Google and I type in fentanyl deaths. I hit search, and then it all made sense. I saw another kid, and I saw high school students, college students, young adults, all recent, all over the country, all dead from fentanyl. And so I'm looking at that and I'm saying, these aren't just normal overdose deaths. These people think they're taking one drug, and turns out they're being killed. Why have we not heard about this?
First time I heard about fentanyl was my sister busting in my house, being like, don't touch anything in his room, it's fentanyl. And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, I have no idea what's going on. So most people haven't heard of this because we haven't been talking about it. Back in 2013, when it first started showing up, only about 3% of drug users were dying from it. Now we're looking at over 50% of drug deaths being attributed to fentanyl. If Alexander could have got a lesson, I wish he knew about fentanyl. I wish he understood that fentanyl poisoning is real, and that every time you try something, you're playing with your life. It is pill roulette every time you try it. As a mom of a kid that was just trying to experiment with our kids, as a mom of a kid that died just wanting to experiment, I wish I could just shake you and tell you and make it real for you. But I don't know how to do that. I won't be there when you're faced with these decisions. I know that if he knew the effects of his passing, it would crush him. He never intended for me to find him on his bedroom floor. He never intended for his dad to administer CPR, trying to save his life while we were waiting for the paramedics. Even his 12-year-old sister wanted to run in there and try to help do CPR, but I held her back. Alex didn't intend for me to see him wheeled away on a stretcher and put into an ambulance. Alex had no intentions of me seeing him lying on a stainless steel table covered with a sheet with only his head showing. Alex had no intentions of me knowing what it felt like to kiss his face for the last time. The images that I'm left with of that day replay in my mind on a regular basis. Please do not put your family through this. And please, 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 I beg of you, learn about fentanyl now. You can be a very important part of saving lives.
This would be how much cocaine somebody would have to ingest to kill them. This is the approximate number of prescription pills one would have to ingest to kill them. This is the amount of heroin the average person would have to ingest to kill them. Fentanyl? You're going to have to bring that camera up here real close to see it. This much fentanyl would kill you and I if we split it.
4 years ago, DEA in Arizona seized 0 fentanyl. This last year, we seized enough fentanyl to kill 70 million people. You're playing Russian roulette out there when you're taking these pills and you're buying this stuff off the street.
Social media has completely changed the landscape of the drug trade. Most people start by searching for what they think are prescription medications, and drug dealers respond saying that's what they have. But what you have to be careful about is what you're asking for and what you get can be two different things. And if you're buying this stuff from somebody online, their bottom line is they're just looking to make a quick buck. They don't have your best interest in mind. They'll tell you whatever you want to hear. Unless you're getting these drugs from your doctor or a licensed pharmacy in a bottle that has your name on it, you may as well assume these drugs are fake. You're not getting the real thing. Fentanyl's literally taken over the drug market. It's in everything. It's in meth, it's in cocaine, obviously the counterfeit pills that are out there. We're starting to see it showing up now in marijuana. The people who make this stuff, who are putting the fentanyl in everything, they have one goal: to get you hooked. Fentanyl is highly, highly addictive. They're going to trick you into thinking you're getting something you're not, to take you down that rabbit hole, to get you hooked on fentanyl and have you become an addict. Because to them, you're a customer, and you'll be a returning customer at that point. One of those times, you're going to get enough fentanyl to kill you. Alex was in her bedroom at night, getting ready for bed. She went on social media in search of oxycodone. It wasn't hard for her to find a drug dealer, and she had what she thought was oxycodone delivered to our house. One pill had enough fentanyl to kill 5 people. My daughter took half of this pill and died instantly. In an instant, my life was changed forever. My last memory of my daughter is of her being wheeled out on a gurney. I saw my daughter brought into this world, and I saw her leave this world. I have 4 daughters, a beautiful wife. Every time we take a family picture, I don't see who's there, I see who's missing. It's an odd feeling to looking forward to dying, because you know that's when your heart will be made whole again. Alex would have never wanted this. Don't do it to your parents.
The end of the world at the palm of my hand. If you can't come with me, I'll understand.
You have a choice, because it is between life or death. This is no joke. You can and will die. How do I know this? I can tell you that I've met thousands upon thousands upon thousands of parents nationwide. I wish somebody had sat me down and had this talk with me about what fentanyl does to people. I didn't get that chance. You do.
You know, there's always been one main problem with the films that we make, and it's the reason why we try to keep them as real and as relatable as possible. People just so commonly think that it will not happen to them. I'm talking about great people, nice people, cool people, intelligent people with big plans for the future, big potential. Gone. Because of one choice, they didn't know would end their life. Fentanyl is coming for anyone and everyone. So the most important message that I can give to kids, to teens, young adults, anybody, is the same old message we've heard time and time again. And that's to really get serious about not even trying a drug. You see, back when we first started, I was telling kids not to use drugs because you might get hooked, you might get addicted. Now, there's not even time for that. Now it's don't try a drug because you might actually not wake up tomorrow. You might actually not get another chance. One choice is all it takes. If you don't believe that, I guarantee you, at this point, there was someone very similar to you who wished they could be here right now to look into the camera and look into your eyes and say, don't do it. Please don't do it. Please, I wish I wouldn't have done it. Don't do it. Don't risk your life. So my question for you is, are you going to listen? Or will it be your family and your friends holding your picture, wishing they could have been there to tell you?
This is my son, Alexander. He died at 14 years old from fentanyl poisoning.
This is our daughter, Jessica. She was 29 years old when she was killed by fentanyl.
This is my daughter, Alex. She was murdered at 20 years old by a drug dealer who sold her a counterfeit pill made of fentanyl.
This is my son, Daniel Joseph Huerta Johnson, killed at the age of 16 by illicit fentanyl.
This is my son.
Hi there. My name is Tonya Doucette, and this handsome guy right here is my son Trey. Whenever he was 11 years old, I'll just start when he was young. He was the most happiest child there was. He was so energetic, he was just laughed all the time, he was always like a great storyteller. His first grade teacher would always tell me, he's gonna be on TV one day. He's gonna take Jalen's place. We'd walk into a grocery store just doing our thing, and a man came up to us one day, never said in our life, said, "You're gonna be famous one day." Didn't realize it was gonna be this. Whenever he was 11 years old, his biological father gave him weed. He didn't want that, but his dad did. From that then on, started the beast of addiction. And when people say weed doesn't go down that route, they're lying. And these days now, you can't even try it without fentanyl in there. For years, he struggled with addiction. In and out of the house. Hated it. Didn't want to be like that. He has two younger brothers who tell him, don't even try anything, because we have this in our family. Whenever he was 19, he finally went to rehab. He was a long-term rehab. He came home so happy. Ready to live a sober life. It was amazing. He had our Trey back. He was so excited. He started a job on a Monday. It was the week of Thanksgiving. And he had his alarm set twice on his phone. He said, "Mom, please wake me up. Set the alarm too. I'm scared I won't go home." We had so much fun, like buying his clothes, and he was just amazing. I would walk around, he just grabbed me and picked me up, twirl me around. It was just so much fun. So, Monday morning, November 23rd, 22. I went to knock on his door, as I always did, with respect, knock on his door, and he would always, when I knocked, I'd hear him kind of moving. I didn't hear anything. I knocked again, didn't hear anything. I started feeling like nervous, like, oh my gosh, something in my gut. So I started banging on that door, screaming, "Trey, Trey, Trey." was just. I have a friend that works at the coroner's office, so I was able to find out within a few days it was fentanyl. He did not want to try. He was sober for 454 days. We've seen on his phone for 5 weeks a guy, his friend, tried for 5 weeks to get pills in front of him. He'd always say that, no man, you tell him to do it's not worth it, it's not worth it. The 5th week, he said, can you just hold these for me? My girlfriend's coming over, she can't see him. I guess he thought he was drunk, and I remember him leaving for a little bit and he came back home. It was a Saturday. We found out later he was up till 3:30 with his brother. They were playing games, and knowing my son, he probably just thought, I'll just take one, because he was so worried about waking up for work. Well, he made that 10-second decision. That's all it takes, y'all. A 10-second decision. He didn't get this from somebody he didn't know, and he wasn't even intending on using it. He didn't know that it did not want it. I later found out there was so much fentanyl on that pill, it's full of it. Killed a whole group of people. It was made here, made in Calhoun Parish, made in these parishes, it was made here. So, we started Project Trey advocacy a year later to go and educate people like you. Because what we have to deal with, what his brothers have to deal with, we do not want your parents and your friends and your siblings to see you in a coffin and have to go visit you at the grave.
Thank you, Tonya. Now we're going to hear from Tricia.
Hey, my name is Tricia Grove Mott. I'm actually an alumnus of Hackberry High School, class of 94. Go Mustangs. On Monday, March 8th, 2021, at 7:11 a.m., it's amazing the things you remember when your life changes. While drinking my coffee, I realized my stepson Nick wasn't up for work yet. I went and knocked on his door, no answer. Opening his door, Nick was lying across his bed, fully clothed, one arm under his head and one arm extended out like he was holding his cell phone. I went to shake him. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He was stiff. I looked over at his face and noticed he had a grayish tint. At this point, I was beating on him, begging him not to do this to me, to his family. I grabbed him and flipped him to the floor, thinking I was going to perform CPR. Now, I work at a funeral home in Salford, and I've been around deceased bodies. I knew he was dead, but I was going to try. I was literally about to pass out, and knew I had to call my husband, Nick's dad. He comes running in the house, and I had to tell him his only son was dead. I had to call my daughter, Peyton, who was getting ready for work, and tell her that her only brother was dead. I still remember their screams. So it's back up to January 15th of the same year. Nick broke both bones in his arm and had to be transported to the Beach General due to the severity and had to have surgery. He was prescribed pain pills. Back to March 8th, of course I called 911, the coroner's office came. By this time our whole family's there, and we watch as they wheel Nick out in a body bag. Nobody saw Nick the way I saw him. I begged his dad not to go in there. We were informed 3 pills were found on Nick's nightstand. After an investigation and testing of the pills along with toxicology, we found that Nick had purchased oxycodone pain pills from a good friend. A normal friend. I believe it's 3 nanograms that can kill you. Nick's toxicology came back with 13 nanograms in his system. We've heard of fentanyl in the surgery setting, but no clue of it pressing into pills right here in Calhoun Parish. place. I will tell you, it's not easy. To see your son laying in a casket with his favorite Texas Rangers jersey on, it's a picture I will never forget. Imagine your parents watching all of your friends grow up, get married, have kids. Watching your daughter married just 2 months later without her brother there. Nick's nieces, Tyler and Ronnie, and his nephew Brent Nicholas, who's named after him, will never get to meet their auntie. I literally carry Narcan everywhere I go for fear that someone will overdose. Just remember, one pill can kill. Don't take that chance, you're not invincible. If you take something from anyone, you have a 50-50 chance that it's going to have fentanyl and you're going to die. I tell my nieces and nephews, you need anything, I don't care if it's an Advil, call me, I will bring it to you. The same with all of y'all, if y'all need anything, call us, call your family. Don't trust your friends or anybody for anything. So now I'm going to go over to Peyton, which is Nick's sister, to give you a sibling's point of view of losing her brother.
Hey y'all, my name is Peyton. Can everyone hear me? Okay. So you just heard the story about my brother and his death. Now I'm going to tell you how it affected me as a sibling. So Nicholas was my brother. He was 26 when he passed, and I was 24. Being that we were only a year and some change apart, we were very close. It's also safe to say that he was my only sibling. On March 8, 2021, when I received the call that my only brother had passed away, I was alone, about to get my now 5-year-old daughter dressed for daycare and get ready for work like any other Monday. This was the phone call that turned my life upside down. That day, I watched my brother being wheeled out in a body bag instead of greeting him with hugs and conversations like usual. It affected me so bad that living on my own up to about 2 years after his death, I would have to FaceTime my mom as I got up until the moment that I left my house for the day. I graduated with a degree in criminal justice and had to leave my job of 4 years at the district attorney's office because it was too much of a reminder every day. My wedding was a month and a half after Nick's death. There was an empty space where my brother was supposed to stand with my groomsmen, and missing pieces sprinkled throughout the day without him there. What was supposed to be the happiest day of my life was taken over by grief. Look at your neighbor. Everyone look at your neighbor. This is mine. I moved into her neighborhood in 2018. Her son, Trey, died November 2020. My brother died March of 2021. Y'all, it's not a coincidence. It's in our community. Don't think it can't happen to you. It can. Okay? Reach out to anyone you know. Look at your neighbor. Who's your best friend? Don't think that you can trust them. Because odds are they don't know what they're giving you either. My brother's killer was his ex-girlfriend and a girl that I went through college with and studied with. She had no idea either. Okay? It can happen to anyone. One pill can kill. Thank y'all so much for listening to me.
Very, very good. That was her inaugural talk too. That was really, can we have a round of applause for that? In the interest of time, I'm going to blow through this deck. Really, the nut that you need to know is you need to know where Narcan is. Your school resource officer, Ty, knows where it is. You need to know if something goes down. Ready? 1, 2, 3. We just sprayed Narcan. All you need to do is take it, put it up the nose, and unload it, and you will save someone's life. That's simple. It's not a CPR class. We have to learn all these things and get a certificate. Although we're going to ask you at the end to stay with us. I'll never try to do this. I'll never die from fentanyl. This is my son Drew. He had it going on. He was an Abercrombie model, like 160 IQ. He was a state champion swimmer as a freshman. He stabbed it. The only person, if someone was alone at the lunch table, he was sitting. He was our family rock star. I love this guy. You know, parents are supposed to love their kids, but I really like them too. This is his grave. These are some of his models. I need you to be sitting down right now. And I sat in bed and shots started going for me because I was like, something really bad is about to come. And I didn't have enough time to recover. I said, what is it? He said, Drew's dead. And I said to him, look, I knew I was talking to him, he can't relapse, he can't get in trouble. You see, this proves the point. I didn't even think dead. I said, wait a minute, you mean deceased? And Jack said, yeah, you need to mourn the loss, your son and my brother. And when he said that, I started screaming bloody murder. I started swearing to God, telling him he'd go pound it. And I was done with him because I lost my number one. People get worried about me. I've since made up with God on it, but it kills. We do this to make sure it doesn't happen to you. This is a gal named Rain.
Number 2, they can be dangerous. These controlled substances have very serious side effects, which include but are not limited to drowsiness, fatigue, dizziness, mental fog, and in very serious cases, death. And actually, not really in very serious cases, because it's small amount of fentanyl and morphine, and it's very, very, very.
This is Rain teaching her freshman class on April 27th. 1 month later, that's Rain. Rain died of fentanyl poisoning. How that happened? She was at a pool. Someone offered her a Xanax. She's the teacher about staying away from fentanyl like we are. You think any of us would ever fall for this? You'd be like, no, these guys are pros. She was a pro. She's dead. She went online, did a search, and the pill in her hand matched what a real Xanax looked like. And she thought, okay, I'm safe. All these teenagers, we have reams of these. These are all teenagers who died from fentanyl poisoning. This is obviously real. I think we've beaten that at home. In 2024, there were 80,000 overdose deaths. Just to show you what that comparatively to all drug driving, the 9/11, COVID under the age of 30, childhood cancer, Vietnam War, all added up, is less deaths than died last in 2024. Now, last year, in 2025, it went down. We've been making awareness our goal, but to put that in perspective, this is not an acceptable number. 70% that's driven by fentanyl, drunk driving, childhood cancer, and Vietnam War deaths still adds to less than who died last year. So it's still a number one problem. To put that in perspective, if you add in your sports centers at LSU, talks in the Superdome, and your pro basketball team and your college basketball team, all those people would be dead. That's how many people that is. Prince is the poster child of fentanyl. He's sitting there staring at my son in the DEA headquarters forever. His family is probably going to speak with us coming up here at an event we're having in September. Very famous people died from it. We just want to raise awareness about fentanyl. I think we're doing that. You're okay. This just shows the numbers, how they just spiked. You know, you talked about the number one year. It started hitting 100,000 3 years in a row. I mean, and the United States finally paid attention to it. 2/3 of the people are bystanders there. By the way, we've got 4 federal laws done. I was a guest in the White House 5 times last year. Because we get the bereaved parents are the ones that get people to do stuff. We don't really put up with no, ask Caleb, you know, he's here, thank God. But we're like, this is too important. 114% increase in the ages 10 to 19. That's why we're talking to you. 2/3 of people have a bystander. The criminal drug networks are made by the cartels. The cartels have a short list because this administration is taking care of business with them. 1 in every 2, as we heard, and that was a great line, will kill you dead like rain kills bugs. So you can't go near it. It's worse than Russian roulette. I have a little video to show you. Go ahead. So there's a pencil. Just to show you how small it is, that's the tip of the pencil. That's 2 milligrams. 2,000 milligrams fits into a packet of sugar. That's how little fentanyl will kill you. You had 13. Your son had 13. Yeah. So you can see how deadly it is. How do you tell a real pill from a fake pill? If you order it online by Snapchat, you order a Percocet, Xanax, Oxycontin, Adderall. How do you know it's fake? Anybody? Can you tell the difference with these? Well, the colors are similar. This color is different. It's a trick question. can't tell the difference. The only way you know it's fake is if it didn't come from your doctor. And I say it with a little snarky. If it didn't come from your doctor, Einstein, it's fake. And guess what? It'll kill you. It will. You can't go near it. So, the way opioid receptors work is opioids plug up your breathing receptors in the backstem of your brain and you stop breathing automatically. That's how you die. Uneventful, you just stop breathing. So what happened to my son, fell asleep, never woke up. Naloxone fits better on the opioid receptor. So if you spray naloxone within 4 to 7 minutes of somebody overdosing, it knocks that opioid off and allows them to breathe again. Come to life. It's called the Blatcher's drug. That's why we want to make you aware of it. It works on any opioid at all. Fentanyl is the biggest one. And in action, it works on any opioid at any time. And it causes some withdrawal. There's a few things that you do if you run into somebody. How do you know somebody's overdosing? Basically, they pass out. If you're at a frat party and someone's drunk, and you're like, stand aside, I've had some training on this. I'm gonna bring this guy back to life. And you spray Narcan into his nose and he's just drunk. Does it hurt him? The answer is no. That's why we spray it in public. There's no contraindications. It will not hurt at all. The telltale sign is a pinpoint pupil. That's how you know this guy's overdosing. They're unresponsive, they're clammy, and they're passing out. Thank you, Caleb. See you on TV. What you do to save a life is you shake and shout. You call 911. Now, when you call 911, let's just say you have drugs on you. And the cops come, they're like, oh, now we know who's responsible for this guy. Are you in trouble? Anybody?
No.
You're not in trouble. Thank you. You're wearing an Angel Army t-shirt. That was awful. Anybody else know if you're in trouble or not? You think you're in trouble if you come to the cops and there's drugs there? The answer is no. Why? Because there's something called Good Samaritan law, which protects you. This is the Louisiana revised statute. It's a Good Samaritan law. They can't touch you. Right up to the naloxone spray, we just showed you how to use it. You peel it off, you shove it into your nose and unload it. It's that easy. It's like Flonase. You check for their breathing. If they're not breathing, you administer it to a second nostril. And the aftercare, they're going to wake up not knowing where the heck they are. They don't know where it is. And they're in withdrawal. You turn them on the side, they might vomit. You just save their life. There's a couple of resources, but we want to make sure you know where naloxone is. How many people know where Narcan is right now? Nobody. We want to leave. There we go. You know Officer Ty has it. Okay? So we want to make sure you know where Narcan is. There's Louisiana examples about people who pass it out. Tonya will make it available to you non-stop. I'm going to give you her contact information at the very end here. This is a gal named Victoria, and I'm going to pass the book out to everybody who's at this assembly. I'm going to ship it in and get a final number. But it's my cameraman already has one. Whoever asks the first question after this is going to get this book. But as you can see, this is her journal. She wrote her whole journal. All her inner thoughts. She was struggling with anxiety and depression, and she was really articulate about it. Her name is Victoria. Unfortunately, she passed away. She overdosed at her house, and she gave her mom permission to write this journal. She said, nobody can do it. I was struggling. What if I don't survive? And she didn't, but it's an anti-drug book. Even her best friend had no idea right before her eyes that she was going down. So we don't want that happening to you.
Your reason for joining SAFE may be sitting next to you right now. So if you're interested in helping us spread awareness, please DM us on Instagram or scan this QR code so that we can keep our generation safe.
So if you start a chapter called Students Advocating Fentanyl Education, you just refer them. You can hit them up on Instagram or go to fentanylsafe.org. You will likely be considered to get into college ahead of A students. That's what happened to her. She got it half right and she completed it. I want you to think about going to our website today this free book. It's called 1001 Great Comebacks to Peer Pressure. This allows you to kick somebody in the teeth verbally who tries to make you do drugs, because they're the idiot, they're the moron, but you might not be ready for it. So to be prepared, get 1001 Great Comebacks to Peer Pressure. It's at the bottom of Fentanyl Father's title. Download that book and practice it in your safe club that you started. Last video. Obviously, it's not a gamble worth taking. So, if you go to narcannow.us, you get free Narcan. Louisiana Health shows you all around the state where free Narcan is, and again, timing is. Oh, by the way, if you're struggling, you gotta call 988. Talk to them. Can I ask you guys to say this with me? We're gonna be done. We'll take any questions. You guys have been great with your timing. We're gonna say, I'll never try, so I'll never die. We're asking you to say it to honor our kids. Is that fair? Okay. So here we go. I'll never try, so I'll never die. From fentanyl. Just try that one more time. I've never done this. Let's say it a little louder.
Let's do it louder.
We got cameras going. Okay, I'll never try.
I'll never try.
So I'll never die.
I'll never die.
From fentanyl. That was good. That was great, guys. So you guys have graduated free fentanyl certified. This is how you get a hold of Tonya, our state director. The mic and the book. So this is the first person who's got a question. Okay, you got it.
So I know one of you said something about fentanyl and fentanyl is like being more candy. Can it be put in anything without like any kind of food or like?
Yes. Yes.
It's a great question.
Here's your book. Here's your book. I'm going to ship it enough for everybody, but they're going to be shipped in. She gets hers today. It's a great question. People are worried about killing people. There was a case recently where a lady just went down for killing her husband purposefully giving him fentanyl. But there's got to be a money motivation. She wanted his life insurance. Generally, nobody gets killed with fentanyl. You don't have to worry about FDA approved stuff. It's not. It's a money thing, and they're trying to make money from it. So you don't have to necessarily worry about that. It's a great question. Anybody else? Yes.
What exactly are like cops doing to help stop this?
Well, I can.
What are cops doing to stop this evidence?
We're doing everything that we can. That's what the president has passed a lot of new legislation to try to stop all the importation of fentanyl to the country. And to answer your question, fentanyl is deadly in any form, even if it's airborne. It really is a big problem for law enforcement. There's been some law enforcement officers that have died just from being exposed to it. It's that dangerous.
I was in the White House on December 1st, it was my birthday. That's how I remember it. I was standing behind the Oval desk, and we told the president, you should make fentanyl weapon of mass destruction. He said, that's a great idea. Done. 10 days later, it became about weapon of mass destruction. That's how history is making right before my eyes. Anybody else? Okay. Are we still rolling?
A certain time cannot be still be used.
Great question. They say it expires after 36 months, but it actually lasts for 15 years. It's safe. So, go ahead.
After the person has passed out or overdosed, is there a certain time?
Yeah, you want to get to them by the age 7 minutes or less. Their brain starts to be done because it's oxygen. You can only use 1 dose per squirt, and but it doesn't expire. Anybody else? We're just about to wrap up.
I want to add something.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
Okay.
Are there any other parts of the brain that fentanyl affects besides the brainstem?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the drug effect, that's a great question. The drug effect happens to the dopamine. That's where the word dopa comes from. In the front part of your brain, avoid overdoses? That's a great question. Okay.
Real quick, Neely, on your question, if you find someone and they don't have a pulse and you're suspecting overdose, still give them the Narcan.
It doesn't hurt them in any way.
Yes, it doesn't
Call
hurt. Still
911.
give them the Narcan, CPR, everything.
Yeah, if it's something that's not fentanyl related and you give them Narcan, the Good Samaritan law covers you. It's the same as law enforcement. And we have had to use this in Cameron Parish several times. I had a guy at a gas station in Grand Lake probably a year ago. The deputy was pumping gas and the guy next to him pumping gas literally fell on the ground and was dying from a fentanyl overdose. And he recognized it, gave him fentanyl, and brought
Gave him Narcan.
And one more thing, like I said, I do work at Johnson Funeral Home in Salford, and it does not discriminate age. I mean, we've had months-old babies that I guess their parents mixing counterfeit pills, having fentanyl, to breastfeeding to 80-year-olds. I mean, it doesn't discriminate age-wise.
Okay, that's going to be that's going to be a wrap. The schedule is down enough. If you have any questions, we're up here. Come on up and ask us. And thank you so much. You guys were really perfect. Please go home and tell your parents they raised you right. You guys are real gentlemen and ladies. Thank you so much. Big round of applause.